Hello, my name is Dr. Ruthie. I'm a professional sexuality educator and a relationship expert over at exploringintimacy.com. And thanks to the great folks at Funwares, I'm here answering your questions about sex and relationships. And I got a really good one in today. And this person wants to know, Dear Dr. Ruthie, is it okay to masturbate when I'm in a relationship? I think it might be really upsetting for my partner. Excellent question. All right, so there is lots to think about when we think about the idea of whether it's okay for us to self stimulate, masturbate, wank, jack off, whatever you want to call it, when we're in a relationship. So let's take it back a little bit and think about what it is that we've learned about masturbating and what it means to us. A lot of times, pretty much almost all of us really grow up with some kind of negative ideas about what masturbating is. And maybe it's because we learned those things from our families. Maybe our families didn't talk about it at all, or they were even pretty sex positive, but we still got these negative ideas from culture and society. And, there's some common ones, but you probably have some of your own. Some of the ones I hear the most often is that masturbation is in some way dirty. And it comes back to this idea that our genitals are somehow dirty, and thus by touching them, we become dirty. Well, I hate to break it to you, but if you look around, pretty much everybody you see, I'm going to venture 100%, but who knows? Pretty much everybody will have genitals, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with having them. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with touching them. And so there's nothing dirty about our genitalia, unless you've just gone to the gym and you're due for a shower, perhaps, but that's a whole different kind of dirty and easily resolved. Um, there's nothing wrong or dirty about our genitals or about masturbation. So this notion that we see it as dirty and shy and, something that we should never confess to and should definitely feel bad about, this is archaic, and I encourage you to just disregard that whole notion. So that should never get in the way. Another idea that we often have about masturbation as we grow up is that masturbation is immature. It's something we do as children, it's something we do as young adults, it's something we do in a moment of weakness. But when we hit some sort of mythical sexual level of social cultural maturity, we'll no longer want or need to masturbate, and that'll be tied to being in a relationship that fulfills all of our sexual needs and wants. And that's a wonderful fairy tale. Actually, it's not such a wonderful fairy tale because masturbating is fun and it's healthy and it has all of these positive attributes to it. Why would we want to get rid of that when we meet a certain age requirement or a certain relationship requirement? So let's go ahead and get rid of the whole stereotype that masturbation is immature. That's just absolutely ridiculous. I could spend a long time talking with you about where that idea came from in mental health and all sorts of things like that. And basically, it didn't come from anywhere reliable. So go ahead and get rid of it. I also hear from people that masturbation is for desperate folks or for single people. And if we think about comedy and these kind of cultural notions about masturbation, we think of these crazy, dating movies from the 80s, or, ooh, I dated myself, whenever you were watching these things. And, you have the desperate loner who spends all their time by their computer with porn or whatever, masturbating, and that, once you, again, grow up and reach that maturity and you're no longer single, then you shouldn't be desperate and you shouldn't need to masturbate anymore. While masturbation can be very handy, if no pun intended, if you are feeling a little bit sexually desperate at the moment, you're just really turned on and need to relieve some pressure, that's a-okay. It is so much more and better than that and has a million other uses, including that, not to disparage that particular use. But wanking is masturbating is not just for desperate people, or for single people. It is for everybody. Again, it has so many positive attributes. So when we wonder if masturbation is okay in a relationship, I encourage you to think back to what your particular stereotypes are about masturbation, what your biases are, what little, shameful associations you may have with it, and to really think about where those come from. Did those come from anywhere reliable or useful, or did they just come from this kind of cultural somewhere out there that you just sort of absorbed, and really come to think about it, there's no sense to it. Hopefully you'll discover that those kind of biases you have about masturbation or those shame-based ideas really don't serve you well. So why keep them and live by them? Just let them go and get rid of them. What we can do is then replace those ideas with more positive, more reliable, research-based even ideas about masturbation, which is that it's not dirty, it's not immature, it's not desperate or for single people. It is something with a lot of positive functions. Masturbation is a wonderful way to explore. We can always be discovering new things about our body and ourselves because our bodies and our minds are always changing and evolving. So what a great way to tap into exploring right there with our own hands, right? Masturbation is fun. Masturbation is healthy. There's plenty of research that shows health benefits and relational benefits. And by health benefits, I mean both physical and emotional to masturbating. So we even have research to back us up. Masturbation can be a great tool for communicating what we like and a great way to communicate things to ourselves about appreciating ourselves and how we deserve pleasure and a little time to treat ourselves and things like that. Masturbation can be about relaxation. It can be about intimacy, whether with yourself or shared with a partner. So when we start to think of masturbation as having all of these positive aspects to it and just get rid of these negative ones that we don't even know where they came from, but they're not helping us at all by any means, then it kind of the question is, why wouldn't you masturbate in a relationship? Why wouldn't you want to share that with your partner? Why wouldn't you want to use masturbation to be your best self so that you can bring your best self into the relationship? And I have no good reason why you wouldn't want to masturbate in a relationship. The question asker mentions that their partner might be disturbed or grossed out by it. Well, my guess is that your sweetheart probably has some negative ideas about masturbation of his or her own. And that, you know what, as a loving partner, you might be able to help open that conversation with them and help them to learn about the positive sides of masturbation and get rid of some of those ridiculous things, that some of that baggage that they got along the way about it that just didn't come from anywhere good and isn't helping them at all. So might as well just get rid of. So this can become a wonderful way that the two of you grow together. I also want to point out that it's okay to have solo time in a relationship. You have your own identity, and that includes sexually as well. So, it's great to have a girls' night or a guys' night out or a board game party or whatever it is that you like that your sweetie isn't necessarily into. So you go do it yourself. The sports bar, the salon, the ice skating rink, whatever your deal is. And that's fine because we recognize that even though we're in a relationship, we still have individuality that needs to be nurtured in order to be healthy and well balanced. You know what? Masturbation is like that too. We deserve some solo time to ourselves to just explore, relax, decompress, sleep better, whatever it is that we want to get out of masturbating, and that's fine. That solo time we spend should not be seen as in competition with the partner time, whether it's, platonic type solo time with friends or whether it's intimate time with yourself masturbating. So it is perfectly fine to have that to yourself. Of course, we want all of these things in balance. So it needs to be balanced well. You don't want to spend too much time with the gals and not enough time with your sweetie. You don't want to spend too much time masturbating and no time sexually with your partner, unless that's what you've agreed to in the relationship, then by all means, have at. So as long as you've had a decent sense of balance in there, then this can be a wonderful positive attribute to your relationship. So I encourage you to open this conversation with your sweetie. Maybe find some good resources or a good educator or helping professional who can help you have this conversation. If it would be helpful to bring someone else in. And I hope that this can become a positive part of your life as an individual within the relationship and as your life as a member of the relationship to share with your partner. I'm Dr. Ruthie. I hope this helped you balance masturbation in your relationship, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.